becoming self-employed requires taking the plunge. How was that experience for you? Did it worry you, or did you just dive straight in?
Oh no, I'm a very cautious person. I don't move fast from one situation to another without thinking about it. And I'd been with my former firm before here for 25 years, just under, and I had reached the point where I had to leave due to the normal retirement date, and there really wasn't room to stay there any longer. Had to go. So otherwise I would have still been there now, I'm sure. Do I regret anything? Absolutely not, except perhaps the fact that I hadn't made the move earlier. Because once you've made the change, once you've done it, it's so much easier to look in retrospect and say how easy it was. And my change, well, it wasn't a change, really. I mean, it's a new firm. It's a very, very fresh environment and a different environment. But I can honestly say that in terms of the experience I've had from December when I was in my old firm to January and beyond with my new, I've felt completely comfortable. There was not a moment of discomfort about the change, and that surprises me, because when I was looking at the situation from June onwards, when I was really planning, what am I going to do? Am I going to go back into industry? Am I going to go back into private practice? At a time when the economic environment wasn't great, recruitment was down, I did wonder where on earth I'd end up, though I was always positive that I'd end up somewhere. So compared to that situation in the sort of quarters 2 and 3 and 4 of last year, it's been a very, very easy ride, and I'm enjoying it.
Lovely, thank you, Rob. And Jocelyn, what about you? Taking the plunge, was it straightforward?
It was, having made the decision to leave the firm where I was and looking into various possibilities. I came across the concept of a virtual law firm about a year or so ago, and it just had so many aspects of appeal, including obviously the flexibility and the freedom, really. And I think that's a word a lot of us use at Everyman is freedom. And not just freedom from constraints that we'd all had in previous professional lives, but freedom now to pursue clients and interests in a way that we couldn't have done before. And yes, it was very easy. It was a bit scary at times, and but it's just such a welcoming place to be, and very supportive. And I don't know whether that's a combination of the fact that the people here are genuinely kind and look out for each other, or whether it's also a function of the fact we are not in competition. You know, we don't get given figures about who's got what chargeable hours and who's billed what, and you know, that's quite refreshing.
It's a very good point, because you're not on your own. That's the, you know, that you might think, gosh, you come here as a lawyer practicing within Everyman Legal, but you're on your own, and what support have you got? You got brilliant support with Michelle and Angela, and you've got your own colleagues. I mean, we've been in touch, and Edmund as well. It's very easy, and it's very important in certain my practice area, James and I, in the company side, when you're selling and buying businesses, when your clients are investing in businesses, they want to know what they're investing in, what they're buying. And there's certain things that I don't know, say employment law, not my biggest expertise. Property law, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. But you've got people within the network who do know, and it's very easy to be in touch with them, and I have been.
And some very interesting specialisms, such as Edmund's on regulatory work, and Rory on the energy. You know, these are fantastic specialisms to have that often in very large firms do not exist.
Lovely. Edmund, what about you? The young man taking the plunge. Was it scary?
Yes, if I'm honest. But it was scary. It's the fact that it's you that is the thing that is scary. When I say scary, it's also very exciting. You do worry about when the next job's coming in. You worry if people will think that, you know, you're off with a maverick bunch of lawyers. But as time goes on, you can reassure them you're still there. You're still doing hopefully the same high quality work that you were doing before. You haven't changed. The work you're doing hasn't changed. You also seem to be an awful lot happier, and you are not under constant pressure of, say, chargeable hours or the sort of petty political fights that tend to go on in traditional law firms, and people always trying to seek promotion and always trying to seek preferment and trying to impress others. The fact that we're non-hierarchical and that we work for ourselves within the everyman structure is incredibly refreshing. And so basically, yes, it is scary. It does take a degree of courage to do. Is it a good thing? Do I regret it? Not for a moment. And nor do I think I ever would go back to being an employed solicitor, because it's been so liberating. And even though it does take courage and it does take the initial resource, it is undoubtedly worth it. And I have been trying to persuade others to follow the same path ever since I've done it, because it, for me, has been, well, it's been a life changer. It's as simple as that.